I went from 0 to 100 and lost my virginity at a dungeon orgy. Whoa, way to go.
Yeah.
My Grindr date's husband, who happened to be my ex, walked in on us.
What? That's very...
Hey everyone, welcome back to Delve Deck Stories. Today, we're going to be talking about some Grindr stories. So, let's get into it.
Ooh.
This story is from Adam, and it's What's the Worst Date You Ever Went On from the Venting Edition. I had been flirting with this guy, Grant, on Grindr for a couple of weeks. I had indicated I was open to a hookup or a relationship, but this was the longest I'd traded pics and messages with a guy before meeting. I thought he was really cute, which is why I kept it up, but by the time we made plans to meet, I had kinda given up on him. I only kept things going because I was really attracted to him, the banter was good, and he also indicated he was interested in a relationship, which is what I wanted more than a hookup. Not that I would have turned down a hookup, a man has needs. Anyway, I go to the bar, and he was at a table with a woman. I was like, okay, weird, but went over and introduced myself. Grant goes, "This is my ex-wife." Okay.
All right. I don't know.
We're off to a great start.
Yeah, that's normal.
So he continues, but we're still best friends, and I've started bringing her around to meet new guys. I keep getting involved with the wrong people, so I decided to start bringing Annie on dates to help me screen new people.
Okay, I kind of love this. I want to be this guy's ex-wife. I want to be someone's ex-wife.
This feels like this is gonna go south.
It's terrible, but
Yeah.
I kind of love it for her. First date, no, but
Yeah.
I would love.
I
would love to
be
screen
involved.
a lot of my exes.
Yeah, it could
who
be
they're with.
fun, like a little
Yeah.
like, vetting process.
I think I would be great
but
for it.
first date, it's like
No, first date is wrong. Second date, though.
Yeah, second, third, 20th,
If
whatever.
any of my exes want to hit me up and have me screen potential partners for you, I'm available.
Sounds like you've got yourself a business plan right there. I was like, WTF? I had never heard of any such thing and was so taken aback I didn't even know what to say. Before I could respond, Annie jumps in with, "We have kids." Oh, okay. I just need to make sure Grant is getting involved with a good guy, in case you meet our kids.
I feel like that he can handle that himself.
Yeah. Again,
all right,
not
now
something
I'm not on her side.
definitely not something you want to bring up again within the first few minutes of meeting someone. Be like, "Oh, we have kids," and it's like, all right, chill.
Well, I feel like the guy should be like, "Oh, by the way, I have kids,"
Yeah.
but that's for him to handle. She
Right.
doesn't need to handle this.
Yeah,
All
yeah.
right, she's giving overbearing.
She's giving like kind of one of those like overprotective parents,
Yeah.
chaperones. That's what I'm getting right now. I finally stammered, I don't know about this. Grant goes, "Just stay for a drink. It'll be fine," and flashes a really cute smile that immediately melted my brain. All right.
That'll happen.
Yeah, hope was romantic. Against my better judgment, I took a seat. Grant was even cuter than his profile, and even if things went as haywire as they seemed to be going, I figured I at least have a good story.
Mm-hmm.
I start asking Grant about his day, and he's talking to me, but Annie is still acting like they're a couple and flirting with them. Okay, dude, you gotta. What is going on? What is going on? Let the man flirt a little.
Annie, come on.
Mm-mm-mm. She keeps touching his arm, and she's like, "Oh, Grant, you're so funny. Adam, you're gonna love how funny he is. Well, just let him experience it for himself."
She's like, trying to be a good wing woman, I think.
I don't know. I feel like she's
Or
still.
she's still trying
She's
to
still got.
I don't know. Annie,
feelings.
I liked you at first, but I don't know about this.
Then he says, "Tell him about the prank war you have going with our kids."
All right. Boo. Get out of the prank war. No, get out of here. Nobody. Come on.
These are not first date convos. It was so weird. I felt like Annie was simultaneously trying to gatekeep Grant for herself, but was also trying to sell me on him. Grant seemed to have no clue how weird this was, which I guess makes sense. A relationship or form a relationship and still have feelings. Or that he was going to make me feel like a third wheel, which seems to be what was happening.
Mm-hmm.
After the first round, I was getting fed up and told him it was nice meeting them, but I was going to get going. Paid up and left. Before I even got home, Grant was messaging me asking if I still wanted to hook up. Like, yeah, obviously I wanted to hook up, but Queen of blocking was making that impossible. I said yes, and he said I should come over and gave me his address. I get to his place, and goddamn Annie answers the door.
Annie?
Are they still living together? What is going on here?
I think they're trying to swing a threesome.
Oh. I was like, I was supposed to meet Grant. Annie goes, yeah, come on in. He's getting ready for you. I said, are you still living together? Valid question. She goes, nah, We just hang out a lot. I don't have to meet the sitter for another hour.
Okay, that's fine. I'm thrilled you guys are still friends. If he's trying to hook up with somebody, leave. And just don't.
Bye.
Are the kids there? Take the.
It doesn't sound like the
Also,
kids are there. Oh, I feel like. No, I feel like she's going back to her house to meet the sitter who's watching
because
the
they've
kids.
been hanging out.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I think you gotta meet the sitter early.
Or go have a glass of wine at a bar. Don't be hanging out at ex-husband's spot, you know?
Or also, whatever this dude's name is, like, invite him over in an hour.
Yeah.
When you're...
Mm-hmm.
What are we doing?
So now I'm thinking, we'll get rid of her an hour, but do I want to put up with another hour of hanging out with this man and his ex-wife? As I'm having this thought, she goes, Grant's in his bedroom. You can go on back. It's at the end of the hall. So I head towards his room, but I feel like a teenager trying to hook up while my boyfriend's mom is in the house. Even if she's not in the room, having her down the hall was going to be awkward. I head down the hall, telling myself, just 1 hour, and he's on the bed in his boxers and says, come on in. This is weird. This is weird.
Yeah.
Like, she knows that he's ready and waiting for him, and she's like, just head on back, you know? It's like, if you're going to do something, do it in the house, you know? I'm a cool parent. That's what this feels like.
Yeah, it also, like, they're clearly not trying to have a threesome, but it really feels like they're trying to have a threesome.
She's like, I want to be involved.
She's hoping that she'll be invited.
Mm-hmm. Maybe not physically involved, but emotionally.
Nah, she wants to be physically involved.
We'll see. Immediately, I forget about Annie and was like, yes. I shut the door and start taking off my clothes. But as soon as we start kissing, Annie barges in and goes, I just want to make sure you have protection.
Oh, no. Annie, what the fuck? What the fuck? What? Sorry. What?
What are you doing?
This is not normal behavior.
No, it's not.
What?
You know what? I think, like I said again, I think she has a hard time letting go of, like, she still has feelings for him.
They've got a really weird codependent relationship. Yeah. You got to get out of here.
You should see other people, but I want to be involved.
Yeah, and they're like besties in a real weird way.
Yeah, this is weird, dude. I hope he got out. We'll find out in a second. Lady, are you serious? Get out. Grant just laughs and goes, oh, Annie, of course I do. Annie pops back out and we start going at it. Things are heating up and I'm starting to forget about her again, but she comes back in again and she's like, Grant, where are you keeping the aspirin? I got a big wine headache. You know what? You should go. Go have your wine and your aspirin. Go somewhere else.
You mean? What is wrong with you?
So I got up and said, you know, I think I should just go. They're both looking at me like I'm the weird one. And she goes, why? I feel like things are going well.
I feel like they have like a camera in their room and she's watching. I feel like, I know that they are saying that they're not together. I think they're still together. I think they have a weird kink. Mm-hmm. This is their thing. Mm-hmm. They're definitely filming. Yep. Like, there's something going on here. This is not normal. We are divorced behavior. And they definitely have some thing that they're doing.
I mean, I think the part that's missing is I want to know how long they've been divorced before this.
They're not divorced.
Yeah.
They're
like,
not divorced.
We're divorced.
Yeah, this is a weird role play that they're doing that you unintentionally got involved in.
And she's like, I got the sitter, you know, all this stuff. Yeah. I could see that.
They're lying.
Yeah. Do you think, okay, audience.
Yeah.
In the comments, let us know. Do you think they're lying? Is this a kink? Is this the thing that they're into? And they're just like, playing with this guy's head?
Yeah, they're just like playing out whatever fantasy they have, and she's hoping to be. I also think she's hoping to be invited in, but like, yeah. Do you think they're actually divorced? I don't think they're actually divorced.
I don't know. I'm starting to feel like they're not actually divorced. I said, Annie, things are not going well. You keep coming in here. I don't even know why you are here. I think you don't actually want him to find a boyfriend. Whatever this is, I'm not doing this. Good luck. I put on my clothes and walked out. Grant kept messaging me and said, sorry, Annie's just overprotective. Okay, seems like it's still part of the bit here.
Yeah.
But I could not deal with hearing any more about it and blocked him. Good for you. I was into him, but good grief, what an insane evening.
Yeah, this is a crazy thing to do to somebody, and I don't believe that they're divorced, and I think that this was some fantasy that they're working out, because this is just not...
This is wild.
Yeah, this isn't normal ex-partner behavior.
And not some, like, any normal, I don't know, without going into it and be like, hey, here's the situation, as opposed to...
With all of these stories, people need to be upfront about what your intentions are. Mm-hmm. All these people just like busting out random kinks on the first date. You got to tell people about it. This wasn't even, I mean, we don't even know what's happening here, but I don't believe that they aren't in on this together.
Yeah, it seems very weird as it went on. She keeps popping in. I'm surprised that even the guy, the ex-husband wouldn't even say something like, oh, come on, you're whatever.
That's why this is too suspicious.
Yeah, like at this point the clothes are off and she's just barging like, do you have protection, do you have aspirin? Like,
yeah, they got some weird...
It's weird.
It feels like a mom.
Yeah,
like you said, it's something.
She's like,
there's
I'm
something
a cool mom,
happening.
You know, just do it in the house.
Yeah. I hope that they had fun after you left, because you definitely played into their kink.
They got off, and after you left, they're like, yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
So our next story comes from EJ, and it's, what have you tried once that you never want to try again? And it's from the original deck. I went from 0 to 100 and lost my virginity at a dungeon orgy. All right.
Good for you.
I was a late bloomer and didn't even kiss anyone until I was 19. In high school, I was a shy, awkward kid and wasn't comfortable in my own skin. I'm now proudly non-binary and pansexual, but at the time, I had no idea what I was. When I was 22, I finally decided I needed to just get it over with and lose my virginity. I signed up for Tinder first, but that was a bust, and I wasn't getting any matches. Feeling defeated, I decided to give Grindr a try. I knew it was mainly a hookup app, and even though I wasn't sure if I was gay or not, I figured, what the hell? I just needed to get this virginity thing done. Real go-getter attitude.
Yeah, I love that.
I was so nervous as I was swiping and wasn't really sure what to look for. I just wanted someone who seemed nice and was willing to do the deed so I wouldn't have to think about it anymore. Eventually, I matched with this older guy, Richard, like in his 50s older, but he seemed like a cool hippie type and I thought he'd probably be gentle with me. Maybe? I don't know. Anyway, we started talking and I still wasn't sure what to do. Was I supposed to invite him over? Do I tell him I'm a virgin? Luckily, Richard took the lead. I'm having a party tonight. Did you want to come? He wrote. My hands were shaking, but I wrote back, yeah, I'd love to. He sent me the info, and I nearly passed out from anxiety, but I really wanted to get this done. I figured a party would be a low-pressure kind of way of getting to know him, too. That night, I put on a nice button-up shirt and showed up to the party with a bottle of wine because I figured that's what adults do at adult parties. I was so nervous. I honestly waited in my car for about a half hour before finally getting up enough courage to go to his door. In hindsight, there were a lot of red flags, but I was so naive I didn't see any of them. When I finally rang the doorbell and Richard answered the door, my jaw dropped. There he was, in a full body leather suit. Behind him, there were at least 40 other people also wearing leather. I was like, oh God, what have I gotten myself into? I nervously said hi, and he goes, cute outfit. I was so embarrassed and stammered, I didn't realize it was a costume party. Oh, such a sweet soul. Yeah. He started laughing and was like, didn't you read my profile? Not wanting to sound like an idiot, I was like, oh, no, I did. I don't think he believed me, but he let me in anyway. I quickly opened my screw-top bottle of wine and poured myself a glass, trying not to stare at all of these hot people wearing leather, but also kind of wanting to stare. I pulled out my phone and went to Richard's profile, and yep, right there in the description, Leather Daddy, Dungeon Parties, message me for details. I was like, how did I miss this?
Oh no.
So I finished my glass of wine, and after a bit more mingling, people started making their way into Richard's basement. I had no idea what to expect down there, but I was both terrified and intrigued. I'd come for a reason, I might as well do it, right? Another glass of wine, and I was like, screw it, you're already here. Just go. There we go.
Yeah,
there we go.
We're
building up. We're building up to whatever's going to happen, which we know is going to happen, but it's building up.
Why not?
Yeah. It felt like an out-of-body experience opening that door and going down the stairs. There were couches and beds and ropes hanging from the ceiling. The lights were all red. There was this weird music playing, and it was sweaty. Leather does not breathe. Yeah.
Checks out.
People were already having sex at that point. That was quick.
I mean, I feel like once you go into the dungeon, at that point, you've done the social part upstairs. Right, You're like, this is what we do down here. Not that, I don't know. I'm not an expert on dungeon parties, but that would be my guess.
Yeah. No, makes sense. Multiple people were going at it once. Whips were out. It was a sensory overload, and I had no idea what I was doing down there or how I was even supposed to get involved. Luckily, Richard came over and was like, I'm guessing this is your first time at one of these? Yeah, sorry, I mumbled. Richard took me with him and showed me the different areas of the dungeon and explained all the do's and don'ts around joining people and making sure you have consent first. It was honestly really cool how thorough all of it was, and it eased my anxiety a lot. After a bit more watching, I was like, I can't take this anymore. I just need to do it. The rest of the night was a blur. I had sex with at least 12 people. Whoa, way to go.
Yeah. Hell yeah.
From zero, really 0 to 100 so quickly.
Yeah. Good for you.
Yeah. I got tied up at one point, watched people do things I've only seen in scary porn. Honestly, by the end of the night, I was so exhausted. The next morning, I felt proud of myself for giving it a try, but also confident that dungeon orgies were not going to be a regular thing for me.
That's, I guess you made the best of an awkward situation.
You got that under your belt.
Got a good story.
Yeah.
Let us know in the comments what you would do in this situation. Mm-hmm. What would you do? Go for it?
I would think if I'm already in that situation, I've already made the effort. I could easily just leave with my screw top bottle of wine. But I think in that moment, I would also be like, screw it. I came here.
Yeah.
There was a mission. I think
they would definitely just be like, all right.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'd be like, here's a story to tell the grandkids. I don't know. Our next story comes from Brian, and it's, what's the wildest plot twist you've ever experienced in real life? And it comes from our All Swim edition. My Grindr date's husband, who happened to be my ex, walked in on us.
What? That's such a...
Yeah.
There's so many layers to this.
Man. I had just ended things after a 6-month relationship and was looking for a self-esteem boost, so I reinstalled Grindr. I started trading messages with a guy and eventually hit it off with one. We met up at a bar and he was just what I was hoping for. Big arms, big shoulders, thick beard, exactly my type. The attraction was so intense we didn't even finish our drinks before going back to his place. As soon as we walked in the door, we were making out and taking off our shirts. We go back to his bedroom and things are getting steamy when we hear someone in the other room. I freeze and I'm like, is someone here? And he's like, oh no, I think my husband is home. So now I'm freaked out because I have no idea what the rules are or if he is a jealous type. I asked him what I should do and he tells me just wait here and leaves the room. I don't know. You're all alone, possibly naked in a room, very vulnerable.
Also,
jump out the window.
Yeah, you gotta just get out of there. I don't know.
Skedaddle. You gotta go.
Yeah.
I would wait for a text message to be like, oh, he's totally cool, come back in, But if I didn't know, I'd be like, I gotta ruin myself, fight or flight. I gotta survive,
You've gotta, first of all, it sounds like this was not we're open situation.
Yeah, the no.
The oh no makes it sound like this dude's cheating and cheat better. What are you doing?
Well, what's wrong with you? So now I'm in total panic. I started getting dressed and then go to the door to try to eavesdrop. I could hear my date saying, I didn't know you'd be home early, and his husband goes, Tuesday is my early day. But his husband sounds familiar, very familiar. He sounds like my ex, the guy I just broke up with.
Wow. Okay.
What?
We're double cheating.
Oh, wow. The more I keep listening, the more I am sure my date is talking to the man I just broke up with a week ago. I get brave and decide to try to sneak out and look into the living room. I slowly open the door and see my date arguing with, you guessed it, my ex-boyfriend. At this point, I'm like, screw this. I know my ex is not going to kick my ass. And this is all too insane to just ignore. He's like, look, I know what the stakes are right now.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I walk out into the living room, now fully dressed, and go, are you serious? You're married? My ex is staring at me and my date asks, do you know each other? I go, yeah, you could say that. This is the guy I was telling you about at the bar earlier. I just broke up with him a week ago. Now I see why you have commitment issues. You're already committed.
Wow.
My date says to my ex, I knew you were seeing someone on the side. I knew it. My ex goes, you cheated first. What about that fling you had with that trainer? You messed around too. Oh, God, we're going tit for tat on this one.
Oh, no.
My date replies, yeah, messed around. I didn't pretend to be his boyfriend for 6 months. You didn't tell me you're married? My ex goes, you're still messing around. You brought him home. At least he's hot. Not like that bartender I caught with you last time. What were you even thinking? That guy was gross. Why are we even comparing? What are we doing?
What is
This
happening?
sounds like a toxic
This
relationship.
is a very toxic situation. You need to get divorced.
Yeah, like the fact that you're going, well, you did this and you did that and you, no, no. Not
end
healthy.
it.
Done. Go your separate ways. Divide the house, apartment, your clothes, your goods, and just never look back.
Yeah.
But it just feels like it's just constantly like, oh, well, you did that, so now I'm getting back at you. Well, you did that to get back at me, so now I'm getting back at you to get back. And it's like, what are we doing here,
just
guys?
break up.
I feel like it would be a less stressful and happier life.
Not
divorced.
together.
Yeah. Now, I'm not sure whether to leave or get some popcorn and settle in. On the one hand, I'm pissed my ex was married, and on the other hand, I'm enjoying him getting yelled at by my date. While I'm weighing my options, my date goes, we could share him if he's down. He's just property now.
Well, yeah, just like, yeah, whatever. Just doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Share him.
He's just an object. Just toss him around.
Whatever. It just seems he's here.
You get him on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. I get him on Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Like, what are we doing here? Sunday, he gets time to rest. Like, what is this?
Yeah, that's his day off.
Now, I'm not proud of what happened next. Oh, no. But they were both hot, and who knows when my next offer like this was going to come around. So let's just say I left their apartment with the confidence boost I needed. That was caused by the guy you were in a relationship who was married and cheating out with the guy that you met at the bar. Oh, man.
This is just like a crazy everything about this. So many twists and turns.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. This might be one that I would not do that. I think I'd be pretty pissed off at my ex.
You'd be like, you don't think that if you got there, you're like, well, might as well came what I got. I mean, I feel like the last story too, like you go there and you're like, it's messy. I know what you're like. I'm into this guy. Let's just make a sandwich.
I think it would depend a lot. The dungeon thing, I'm confident I would follow through on that.
Mm-hmm.
This, I'm not so sure. What would you do? Let us know in the comments.
What would you do?
I feel like specifically because of the X line, I would be so pissed about that.
Yeah.
I would be so mad.
But then, like, would it give you a moment to be like, you know what? I need a sense of like closure, like a hate kind of like sex moment,
I've never felt the need to have hate sex.
Well, he was, I mean, clearly this guy was looking, it was only a week that he had been broken up with this guy that had been together for 6 months.
I know.
And he was like,
it was pretty soon.
I need my fix. I mean, though, and to his credit, it also seems like based on this, he probably would find someone pretty shortly after to hook up with.
Yeah, it sounds like you're hot.
Yeah.
You're fine.
All right, our last story comes from Robbie, and it's what seemingly small thing changed your life forever, and it comes from the original Delve deck. I met my husband through an unexpected Grindr hookup.
Nice.
I grew up in San Francisco in a pretty traditional Catholic family. Even though the city was accepting of gay people, my church was not. I was taught that being gay is a sin, and this led to a lot of self-hatred because I'm super gay. Like, there was no denying it. My first crush was Ricky Martin, for crying out loud. I'd watch his music videos with my older sister and was like, oh no, this can't be happening to me. When I was in college, I finally met some other queer kids and started to become comfortable with my sexuality. I was still in the closet with my family though. I thought there was no way they would accept me. When I was with them, I was a straight man who was a devout Catholic, and in my free time, I was doing drag and hooking up with basically any man who would have me. The double life wore on me. But I felt like it was what I had to do to keep my family in my life. It also made me sad because I always imagined I would have a family one day, but I knew I couldn't do that without lying to myself or hurting my family. I kind of resigned myself to being single forever. Anyway, when I was 26, I was very active on Grindr. One day I was riding the bus home from work and was checking out guys, hoping to find a hookup for later that night. I came across this guy Luke's profile. He was gorgeous and it said he was nearby. I started chatting with him and the conversation was going well. Then I noticed his distance wasn't changing. I had assumed the bus had just gone by whatever restaurant or shop or apartment he was in. But no, same distance as before. I started looking around at the bus and there he was, smiling at me from the other side. My heart started to flutter.
Wow, that's so cute.
This is sweet. We'll see what happens. Like,
what are the odds?
Like, what kind of crazy rom-com moment was this? The bus stopped and he gave me a follow me look and got off the bus. Of course, I was out of my seat in milliseconds. I went up to him and was like, did you know I was on the bus the whole time? And he was like, I figured it out pretty quickly. I kept watching you, waiting for you to notice me. Normally, I'm not nervous in these kinds of situations, but the unexpectedness of the whole thing was really throwing me off. So, should we continue our conversation here, he asked me, and pointed to the bar next to him, which also happened to be inside a hotel. Feeling flirty, I was like, do you mean the bar or the hotel? Let's start at the bar and see how it goes, he responded, not missing a beat. We get to the bar and he orders 2 shots of tequila. All right, we are off
Hell
to
yeah.
I was like, are you trying to get me drunk? No, I'm trying to get this part over with quickly so we can get to a room. I was totally smitten. We took the shots and he got us a hotel room. It was such a fun, spontaneous night, and let's just say he was good. After we finished, I was expecting to just leave, but he asked if I wanted room service instead. Sure, why not? What's the harm in that? Well, room service led to falling asleep in each other's arms, which led to brunch the next morning. I kept expecting him to come up with an excuse to leave, but he never did. We ended up spending the whole weekend with each other. I liked him so much and we had so much in common. I never wanted it to end. And I'm thrilled to say it didn't. That weekend turned into us dating. Luke was patient with me and eventually helped me come out to my family, who accepted me more than I could have ever imagined. My dad even goes to Pride now. If you told me that when I was a kid, I would have never believed you. Even though my family is extremely supportive and loves Luke so much, we've never told them how we actually met. On Grindr, on a bus.
It's fair.
Some things can stay secret. A few weeks into our relationship, Luke revealed he actually had missed a stop just to stay on the bus and see if I'd notice him too. Aww.
So sweet.
That moment changed both of our lives forever. We're happily married and have a son and a daughter who we love so much. I got the fairy tale life I never imagined I'd have. All thanks to Grindr and the SF Metro.
It's very sweet. What
That is such
nice
a sweet
ending.
story. That is a beautiful story. And I'm so happy that his family accepted him and he got the life that he wanted, and now he has 2 kids.
Yeah.
That's
and
so cute.
You have to meet on Grindr on a bus. This is, this is why we need to invest in public transportation.
Boom. Public transportation sounds like it forges strong relationships,
Yeah.
families. So yeah, we should,
Invest in that infrastructure, you know? that
call
was the
your local government and get transportation in your city today.
That was the takeaway from this story,
that is the
was
lesson.
that, we really need to support these buses.
Because those buses make dreams come true.
Aww.
And that could be the tagline.
For
any bus, any
bus,
transportation.
you can have that.
Public transportation, making dreams come true.
Yeah.
Well, that's it for today's Delve Deck Stories. And if you like today's episode, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more. And if you also want to put in your own stories for us to read, make sure to go to share.delvedeck.com or pick up one of your own Delve Decks.